my home. Finally, I'm not alone. Finally, I'm not alone. I learned one thing in life. You're the only who stays by your side. I want to hold you in my arms again. Just stay with me, not like just dragonflies dancing in the air. Mama told me you have to live for peaks and depths. I felt like you were my home. Finally, I'm not alone. Finally, I'm not alone. I learned one thing in life. You're the only who stays by your side. I want to hold you in my arms again. Just stay with me, not like just
What's going on? To the camera on in a minute here. Got my brother in the background. Device is not connected. Original Lone Wolf, your device is not connected, brother. What's going on? Okay, we got him. Yeah, check this out. A lot of you know let me go ahead and turn my camera on because I don't do that. We're gonna be bringing our brother Original Lone Wolf, who's really steep, pretty heavy in reading bylaws. Y'all know I'm constitutional, but he is too. So don't get it twisted. But he's into looking at everything that we're putting up with, as far as payments, who we are, and how everything is running. I always say Zionist and all these terms and everything are really meaningless. But he's put together something I think it's gonna assist a lot of you, because a lot of you heard of like 1199 A's and all this other stuff. Well, forget all about that. First, I believe what needs to be happening is people need to have a basic understanding. Now, we have a lot of people running around in costumes that, if you listen to them, they're supposed to be the go-to for answers. But the majority of people, like over the 200 police officers trained to be police, get them physically fit and all that other stuff, hand in hand, friends of mine from the military and everything else, right? That don't mean nothing in the real world. And some of them come by this information because of the parties, they have. So what I'm going to have him do today is what he does best. And I'm just going to bring him on, and we're going to give him an hour or so to let him. I mean, he's racist too. Y'all know if y'all watch his lives, right? He's got some energy like a few of us do, okay? And I'm just going to turn my mic off and everything and let him lay everything down, because a lot of people have misconceptions. You know, you have the trolls or whatever you want to call them who always want to debunk stuff, you know, and yet they don't know nothing about what they're talking about, you know. And if you know me, you know, I'm big on, you know, Manny P. Hall, Behold the Pale Horse, William Cooper, and a plethora of other, you know, I'm not going to get into, because some of y'all know some of those books. And these individuals will explain things in a way that William Cooper is straight to the point as far as in his, you know, in his standing. Manny P. Hall is illiterate. You know what I mean? He goes on about, I mean, I've been listening to him for over 10 years, okay? And I'm still gathering as much information, and a number of other individuals. But what's going to happen today is he's going to break things down. And he has this group that I'm part of. He hasn't run in a while. He's been working everything. It's a new job. But very informative. Like, you go to the post office, he's going to break that down. As far as, y'all know what I say about police officers, they really, and it doesn't matter who serves. I know people who have served, and you are ignorant to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and everything else, and you really, over the autochthonous people, or even over the so-called civilian populace, y'all work on procedures. You don't work on the Constitution. You really have no standings over them. Just like more the companies and the big corporation, as long as people are dumbed down, you don't know these things. So I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to let him do his thing, and I'm going to shut the hell up. First of all, I want to say, Rondo, I'm trying to scroll up here and get all you guys who came in. All right, let me make sure this thing's battery's good. Yeah, there we go. I want to say hi to everybody. We got APJR, I am Baby Girl Slaughter, 7 grams, Rondo, what's going on, beloveds? Marcus William, all right. Jamil Shampsey, that's our brother. I told y'all about getting his book. He's got another one's going to be coming out soon. And if you didn't get, don't call my dummy no dummy. I'll share it tomorrow. That's on you. And I will be I've read it twice. Oh my goodness. I need to do in picture, but we're going to bring our brother on here and we'll get into that. And it's nothing but love and respect. And with no further ado, I'm going to turn off my, what you call it here. I'm not supposed to act a little retarded. I'm going to bring our brother, give him a warm welcome. Original Lone Wolf, welcome to the stage. I'm going to let you go ahead and just do your thing. You know, I didn't really touch on a lot of it because I'd rather you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
go ahead and remove myself from this platform. Let's see if I should be able to do that. Or shrink myself, excuse me. Let's see if we can do it the other way around. Y'all know me, man. I don't use all this stuff. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do like this and keep it simple. Nope. Pull way out. My fault. I had the wrong one.
What up, everybody? What's going on? Most of y'all already know me. For the ones who don't, I'm the original Lone Wolf. I've been at this close to 7 years now. I am one of them people that sometimes you hear Red say, like, you know, y'all, some of y'all only been at this 5, 6, 7 years. Well, I'm one of them people. Close to 7 years ago, CPS took my son from me. All right, and I'm just giving you guys just, you know, and this is just for people who don't know me. I'm just giving you just a little bit of a lowdown to how I even came into this transition to begin with. Close to 7 years ago, I did the single father thing. You know, my son's mom was having issues with him. She couldn't understand that us not having a better relationship caused a lot of his problems. And then she tried to take him from me by moving to Milwaukee and not telling me. And, you know, but by the time she tried to do that, he was like 6, 7 years old. And, you know, that go to show you the mentality of some people. She didn't even think about the fact that that wasn't going to work because he'd been in my life the entire time he was born. So anyway, at some point I went to Milwaukee to get him. He came back down to Chicago to live with me. At some point, his mom came down to Chicago and we went to court. I was a little concerned about her coming into my life after 6 months of him living with me and then just thinking she gonna take him from me and all this other stuff. So I was a little concerned about that. So she came down to Chicago. We went to court and we just put on the record that he was going to be living with me, and, like, you know, the medical thing and school and, you know, all these other different things will be determined between me and his mama, and there wouldn't be any outside influences to that. And, you know, the judge signed off on it and we left it at that. I was having issues with my son, you know, a lot of emotional unstable issues at the time when he was 10, 11, 12 years old. And he was doing things in school. And, you know, that's one of the ways they get you. This is one of the reasons for why I want to talk about this tonight, because the public school system is one of the avenues, right? Because, see, a lot of y'all know about, or at least a lot of y'all are coming into the knowing about the hospitals. Like giving birth to your children in a hospital, you know, that kind of opens you up to, because it's all government shit, excuse my language. It's all government crap. And that's how they lure you to the birth certificate and all this other stuff. A lot of you guys are in the knowing to this. But also, too, I want to, you know, remind you all that the educational institutions like these elementary schools and things like that, that also plays a part in it. Like they got stuff out there to never let you go. Like regardless of what direction you try to go in, even if you try to dig beneath the earth, they got some shit down there just to, you know what I'm saying? So the education system is part of that. So with him getting in some of the trouble that he was getting into and getting into fights, and, you know, and then the school system is a prison too. And particularly in Chicago, they're run like asylums. And I'm talking about in the city of Chicago, and they wonder why the kids act the way they do. You took all of the curriculum out of school. I went to CVS, which is the second largest high school in the state. Dick Buckus also went there. Back when I went there, we had an airplane hangar. We had like our own driver's ed thingy where you could drive around the cones and all these other different things in the high school parking lot and everything like that. And we had like one of those simulated things that you could get in and pretend like you was driving for real and all that. Well, we had all that when I was in high school. But y'all know how it goes. Slowly but surely, they take all of that away. And one of the things that they did here, specifically in Illinois, I'm not sure about anywhere else, but here in Illinois, they literally took it out of the city, but left it in the burbs, right? So now you go 30, 40, 50 miles away from Chicago and you put your kids in an all white, you know, all pale skin public school or whatever, you discover that they still got it out there. But then you also learn that a lot of the high school kids, which are predominantly pale skin out there, a lot of them addicted to meth and heroin, and you know what I'm saying? They don't put that shit on the news. But anyway, to make a long story short, CPS ends up getting involved at some point. Okay. I needed help. For anybody who don't know, man, if you ain't never been a single father or nothing like that before, man, like, you know, having to do it all on your own, whether if you ended up in that position the way that I told y'all I ended up in it, or if it's some sort of exigent circumstance, like the mom may pass away or something, because that happened with my niece and my nephew. My sister died, boom, overnight. Their father became a single parent. You dig? So it's more avenues to how you can get into that position. But if you never had to go through that before, you don't know what it's like to need help, on the verge of homeless. Nobody help you. There is no Ronald McDonald House for men. There is no family shelters for, you know, like how they got for women and children, and like the Ronald McDonald House and all that. And they don't have none of that for men. Nobody cared that I was a single father. Nobody attempted to say, well, man, you know what? Like what Cat Williams was talking about, how he would slide motherfuckers money and shit just to, you know, didn't nobody do that for me. You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody do that for me. So at some point, I ended up in a battle with Child Protective Service. I ended up losing them. I ended up not getting them back. And that's what started all of what we're going to get into tonight. And for the people who know me that might be in the chat or whatever, that's been down with me since my first channel, y'all already know about this. I'm just kind of opening this up this way just so people who don't know me kind of can understand. But cats that's been down with me since my first channel, y'all already know I put the shit on my YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? So the adjudication, the way they adjudicated me, like it was real filthy, man. You know what I'm saying? The adjudication process. And because I ended up at some point firing my attorney, and representing myself and all these other different things. But by that time, it was too late. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And in reality, to tell you the truth, just to keep it a buck with y'all, quiet as it's kept, if there's no crime, right? Because like with me, it ain't no crime attached to like what happened with me. And I'm talking about right down to when they took them from me. There was no crime attached to it. I didn't get no felony or nothing, or no misdemeanor or nothing. They just took them. And what I did not realize at that time, which you all need to understand, is that consent is everything. What I was really supposed to have did was gave him the finger. Remember, no crime, no case. And that even goes for your own children. Because you got to understand, they might be your own children, but depending on what you do to that child, the village may not appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was raised the way I grew up, how my mama did me, or how Red was saying his mama tried to set him on fire and all that, you know, a lot of people ain't gonna take to that. They ain't gonna give a shit if they are your children, right? But if it's not nothing like that, the bottom line is this: no crime, no case. And at that time, I didn't understand that. That's why I go so hard. Like on my own channel, that's why I do that. It's literally about consent. For anybody that may be having these type of issues or that may want to research this in terms of like CPS, the comptroller, you can go to the comptroller's website in your particular state, and you can get to that section of the comptroller department where they give you CPS's records. Like the melanated heifer that took my son from me, she was averaging like $110,000, $112,000 a year. And that's just her. That was just her. That ain't nothing to do with all the other people. You know what I'm saying? I ended up taking them to court. Judge John Huff was the CPS magistrate. All right. Latanya Green is the melanated donkey that took them from me. So I ended up taking them to the Daily Center located at 50 West Washington, up on the 19th floor, which was Judge Michael Otto. He ended up being my judge over that case. But I took them to court. I filed my own papers. I paid my own court costs. At that time, Cook County sheriffs wanted $60 per person involved in the lawsuit, no matter how many people. If you were suing 10 people, you had to get Cook County sheriff $600, right? So I went through all of that. I lost the case, and it was weird how they did it. It was crazy because they knew. You know what I'm saying? Judge Michael Otto could barely look at me, and y'all can Google this motherfucker at the Daily Center, downtown Chicago. Y'all can Google his name is Michael Otto. He gave the judge qualified immunity, right? And again, me not knowing what I know now, I supposed to pull his bond number. I supposed to went to the clerk's office and did a FOIA request for his bond. But you know, you don't know, right? But we gonna learn today, okay? So he get that chump qualified immunity, and he know what happened to me is so bogus because I filed the adjudication that I was telling you guys about a second ago. I filed that in the case as to evidence, as like, man, look at this shit. You see what they did? They wrote all these lies in here. Latanya Green had the nerve to say someone else told me this, and I believed it to be true, so I wrote it down. Those are the words, the exact words. And that's how they adjudicated me. So I put that part of it. Not only did I put that in there, right? Listen, Judge Michael Otto put a gag order on it, right? So and just the adjudication part. So if you go to pull my, like if I give you the case number, right? For the lawsuit I filed, if I give you that case number and you go scourging around inside that case, you're not gonna find that. They sealed it under the oh man, what is that bullshit statute they got here? It's some sort of Juvenile Protection Act or something, where the judge can blocks you from seeing certain information about a case in regards to if it has something to do with a minor, right? Now that's the well he drew his water from. But the real reality of it was that was the corruption. Because they used second, third, and fourth hand knowledge that could not be quantified to adjudicate me. You dig what I'm saying? And it was all lies. And she admitted that she had no prior knowledge and she didn't see anything. Nobody ever came to court and took the stand and say, yup, we told her that, and there he is right there. You see what I'm saying? The standard formality that you're supposed to go through is called facing your accuser, right? They blew past all that. And then had the nerve to put in the adjudication where, yeah, man, you know, somebody told me this and I believed it to be true, so I wrote it. And those are the words. Those are the words. So that's the reason for why he blocked it. But what he also did in the midst of throwing my case out against her, he threw the case out simply saying that I was in the wrong court. Because he knew it was bogus. He knew. Michael Otto knew that shit was wrong what they did. Now, the another thing, Fred Flintstone, aka J.B. Pritzker's sidekick, Kwame Raoul, the nigga that's the defendant, the lawyer's defendant in all these cases, because you know Pritzker is the defendant. Kwame Raoul is the lawyer. He was the goddamn attorney general that I reached out to tell them about what they did to me. I reached out to the Civil Rights Division of the Attorney General's office, and you know what they did for me? When I reached out to them and gave them the information, this, that, and the other, they turned around and gave the magistrate John Huff and the CPS worker LaTanya Green lawyers. Like, they didn't respond to me or nothing. They just appointed them lawyers. And I say, ain't that a bitch? I just called the Civil Rights Division. And this is what you... Yeah, I know somebody got to be laughing at that. Like, damn, that's cold. But that's what they did. So this is how my journey started. These few years later. And I've been at it relentless. Me and my son don't have the best relationship now, which quite naturally, I'm sure you all can understand that. He just turned 20, mostly unstable. And I'm going to just leave that alone because we dropping like flies. Okay. But this is what started this for me. So some of the things that I started to learn is one of the things y'all hear Red talk about, which is this: there's two United States. And there is. I just got through doing a video the other day where I had pointed out the Uniform Commercial Code, which I think is 9-307 or something, where it tells you within the Uniform Commercial Code that the United States is located in Washington, D.C. 28 U.S.C. 3002 subsection 15A tells you that the United States is a federal corporation. Now, when you tie that to their EIN number and their Dun and Bradstreet number, that seals the deal. It's over with. And it's so simple when it comes to that perspective that this is the reason for why a lot of these gurus on YouTube be the way that they be. All right? And I'm also saying this too, seeing that I'm bringing up YouTube gurus. Don't expect for me to be saying what y'all done heard them other dudes talk about. Like, what I got to say to y'all ain't popular. And like I tell people who do subscribe to my channel, there ain't no money in what I talk about. And what you mean, Lone Wolf? And this discharge of that stuff that we finna get into. Ain't no money in that. All I talk about is fraud. That's it. And it all started from them fraudulently taking my son from me. I just told y'all about the adjudication. Man, you can't do that shit to people. Well, they do if you don't know no better. And these are facts. I stand here now and I give you my word. These are facts. You're not supposed to enter something like that in as a part of your adjudication, which are either lies or second or third grade knowledge hand knowledge that you don't know anything about, that you can't quantify. You're not supposed to bring that into a court and some punk ass magistrate like, yup, that's it. That's what it is. Get them. You ain't supposed to do that, man. But they did. And it's fraudulent, just like everything else they do. Okay. So when you hear brothers like Jim Red Wolf or even some pale skin folks, for any of y'all that's out there in the chat or that may watch Red's video later that only listen to white people and shit, pale skin people tell you the same thing. It ain't just Red that's telling you that they're a corporate entity or that they jurisdiction don't go no further than that 10 square mile we know of as Washington, D.C. Pale skin people know this too. People starting to wake up to the fact of consent, which is the reason for why you see more people rebel. What is your reasonable articulate suspicion? What is your badge number? This is the reason for why they've turned up the volume when it comes down to cops. You got to restore the order. What they tell you in the Alien versus Predator movie when all of the aliens started moving around this, that, and the other, what's annihilating them telling? We got to get Buddy his gun back, man. You got to get these niggas under control. And that's what it's about. Except for in their position, they're losing control. And if you don't think for 1 second letting these people become police officers that are undocumented workers ain't to help fuel killing the people, you out of your mind. So now when you speak in regards to the United States, one of the things that you all have to understand is that this has been an ongoing plan. And although I'm not a real fan of going back into the 1800s and the 1700s and all this other stuff, I have to, do that a little bit just to help you understand how we got to where we are today. The whole idea was to monopolize everything. You got to understand the people that came here, okay, they had already did it where they came from. This is also your source to where you get to us not being able to read and write. Basically, what that means is we weren't on that shit. That's all it means. We wasn't using UCC number ones and amending shit with UCC number threes, and we didn't create the UCC 11 and all that other shit. We weren't doing that. We didn't operate like that. And that's what they mean when they say we couldn't read or write. Okay, so when they came here, they brought their missionaries, all this other nonsense, but at the end of the day, it was to monopolize and set up over here. Okay, whether if you want to call them Zionists and whatever, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get to all that, but I'm just saying, whatever you want to call these people, that's what the intentions was. Okay, so they came over here under the pretense of we're going to give you this little bit of land and you can do what you do here. And it turned into everything you see in today. You got the District of Columbia Act, which is known as the Organic Act of 1871, which is a hijack. And I just can't say it no other way than that, man. It's a damn hijack to the original Constitution. Period. This is when they started changing the letters around. Instead of Constitution of the United States of America, they changed it to for the United. You know what I'm saying? This is when you start to get into that word porn and all of this manipulation and BS. You know what I'm saying? So after the 1871 District of Columbia Act, they just kept right on going with chipping away with the original foundation to bring you all to where we are today. It's the same thing with taxes. Our people didn't used to pay taxes. Our people did not used to pay taxes, man. They literally, here it is. I hate to be like this, but as some of the research I'm doing, it appears to me that a lot of people didn't understand what they was fighting to try to get into. Because all of that stuff about wanting to be treated like a United States citizen and all this other stuff, well, you open the door to be taxed. And I understand that, like, back in them days, they probably didn't realize that. I'm almost sure they didn't. They just wanted a lot of the stuff that was going on to stop. But that's literally what happened. We was begging them to tax us. We was begging them to, I want a driver's license. Why can't I have one? That's literally what we was doing when we was talking about equality. It's like, well, you want to be equal, motherfucker? Come on, man. Let me get your bread. Let me get that taxation without representation. Low that. Now you become under what? Caesar's umbrella. You understand? Now you got to render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Why? Because you want to play in Caesar's backyard. And it took me a while to understand that, because I should be like, Caesar, who the fuck is Caesar? I don't know. I literally don't know no nigga named Caesar. What are you talking about? Render something to who for what? Who is this nigga? And it took me a minute to realize that's what it was. If you want to play ball with them, you want to sit at the same table, you got to be like everybody else. You need a driver's license. You need you got to pay taxes. You need passports and all these other things. So I'm starting it off this way so you guys can really kind of get an understanding, man, as to how this all started. The United States was incorporated. Well, from the last records I've seen some records in regards to the people who are running it. It's down in Florida. But why is it that the vast majority of these corporations that are about anything, why do they all register their business in Dover, Delaware? I've seen an old record of the IRS where they literally, when they started their thing in 1933, it's ironic that y'all took gold and standard away as the medium exchange in 1933, and the business license that I seen for the Internal Revenue Service was also in 1933 in Dover, Delaware. I think they paid $200 or something, $250, I think is what I saw to file that information. And then from there, the monopoly continued, because now people don't realize at this point, 1933, the United States ain't no longer what you think it is. It's literally a business. Joe Biden and everybody that's come before him Which is the reason for why you'll hear Red say that Abraham Lincoln was like the last con. You know why? Because that's when they started all that shit. That's when they started it. And I'm talking about all this corporate stuff, because you got to remember, we talking corporate terminology now, your statutes, your codes, and all these other different things. We're talking about corporate talk. That's when they started all of that. So what they have done is they have monopolized everything to a point to where you have two of everything. And I don't care where you go. You go to Australia, you could go to New Zealand, you could go to Norway. I don't care where you go. You got the sovereign side of New Zealand, and you got the corporate side of New Zealand. The problem is that people don't realize they are in the matrix. You're no longer dealing with the sovereign side of New Zealand. You're dealing with the matrix. The matrix is the corporation. That's like getting up, going to work. You get up, you leave your crib, you go into this building that's called work. Once you go inside of there, you're in the matrix. It's corporate, literally. So here it is, 1933. You got this whole hijack. They take all the gold. You got to turn all your gold. It's like, you're going to tell me I got to turn some in. But anyway, you got to turn all your gold in. You got to turn your silver in. Like what Red was telling y'all about what Richard Nixon did with the silver in the early 70s. It was all alluding to where we are today. The first driver's license didn't even have a picture on it. First gun permit and all that didn't even have pictures on it. But because they wanted to usurp you into this, and they used your hardship to say, hey, we need to be treated better, let us in too, they used that against you. So now here it is, we're no longer Micmac, we're no longer Pequot, we're no longer Chickasaw, Choctaw, we're fucking United States citizens. Which don't mean anything other than the fact that when you take the word citizen and you break it down, what it literally means is that somebody else is in control. And in this case, your destiny. This is the reason for why you can't use sovereign and citizen in the same sentence. Because sovereignty is the law. Sovereignty is God. You understand? You don't think, oh, you don't think it is? You don't think that the law live in you? You don't think God live in you? You don't think that that's sovereignty? Animals exercise sovereignty on a regular basis. This is why they don't pay for food. This is why they don't pay for shelter. You don't see goddamn polar bears getting their young up early in the morning and sending them off to school. That's sovereignty. So what happened is we traded that in to have somebody tell us what the privileges we can have. So somebody else could come to us and tell, well, if you don't do this, we're going to take your privileges away. So if that's really the case, how in the hell is sovereign and citizen going to go on the same boat? When you look up the definition, and this is for anybody who want to keep talking all this nonsense about it, ain't no real difference between statutes and the law and all this other stuff, and the words are interchangeable and all this other shit. Pick up Bouvier's Law Dictionary, the 1856 edition, and it has the nerve to say the Constitutional Law Dictionary, right on the cover. When you look up the definition of a statute, it tells you it runs in contradiction to the common law. Well, the common law is the Constitution. The common law is those God-given rights that everybody swear to God they know they got. That's common law. That's the republic. That's the republic. So if every statute run in contradiction to the common law, and everything you read after that first definition takes you back to the common law, well, then that means statutes ain't the common law. Why are statutes wrote by lawyers? See, this is shit they don't want to tell you that. They don't tell, like I say, the stuff y'all hear me talk about, this shit ain't popular, man. I'm not here to win no votes and get no subscribers and shit. I don't give a fuck how y'all feel. Statutes and codes are wrote by lawyers. How in the hell is that the law? How? Ain't Congress supposed to make the laws? It's that simple. So they take us further and further away from the sovereign side, which is being planted, being rooted, being grounded, like what Red talk about. And they put you further and further into this fictitious shit. It's like how they was doing in Total Recall, where they transfer your mind and you think you still in the United States and shit, but it's like, nah, man, you really not, bro. You dreaming. It's like Recall. I swear to God. You think Joe Biden is talking about the United States, but this man is really talking about the corporation. he'll refer to you as a minor or a minority. Well, no, I'm sorry, not a minor, but a minority, which is a minor. In any law dictionary you look up, man, it tells you that you have not reached the age of maturity. You have not reached that age to where you can contract. Under Title 31 of the Treasury Department, it even tells you that you still a minor if you reach the age of 18, but you have not taken control of your minor account. And I'm still working on trying to figure out what the hell is this minor account that you speak of. Could that have something to do with the straw man? Could that have something to do with this Sesta KV trust that everybody claims is not real? You don't have access to fiat. This is the reason for why I don't want to say access. You don't control the way the fiat currency works. You have nothing to do with that. It was not created for you. The purpose of the fiat was for you to be able to use that as an IOU. So that $5 bill or whatever you got, or that $20 bill or whatever it's supposed to be, you're supposed to get that in gold. It's a promissory note. It's a promise to pay. So when you have people who sit up here and they try to cash their birth certificate in for a bazillion dollars, what you think the people doing? They just sitting back looking at your ass. The problems with the 1099As and things of this nature is that all of the stuff that you all may have heard and seen about on YouTube, ain't nobody got no real success. Can't nobody come back to you like how I can with all of the moving violations that I may have got that was literally thrown out. I didn't cop out. I didn't beg and plead. I didn't throw myself at the mercy of the court. I literally did what needed to be done and had them dismiss it. And I did this by understanding that they're a corporation. Hopefully you guys got a pen and some paper, because one of the things you need to write down is they have a DUNS number. DUN. Dun and Bradstreet is a entity that's set up, and it's kind of sort of like Experian and TransUnion and stuff like that, where they hand out credit scores and they deduct your credit score and all this other stuff, but it's for corporations. This is also determining how much money that a state can get. And particularly when you look at how much they'll give per child in a school and the state you in. All of that is determined by their credit score. This is the reason for why if you pull up any of they like if you wherever you at, wherever town you in, if you go to Dun and Bradstreet search engine part of their website and put in I don't know, shit. The city of Tucson. You know what I'm saying? The city of Dallas or something. You're gonna almost always get a DUNS number, right? And what's crazy about that part is because when you go to a lot of these different EIN places where they give you people EIN numbers for free and all that, a lot of times you won't find the city of Dallas's EIN number, but Dun and Bradstreet will give you their DUNS number. And the reason for why that's significant is because one of the requirements to get a DUNS number, which is like, you know, an identifier number for that particular corporation. The only way you can get, or one of the parameters for this, you have to have an EIN number. So if you can't find the city of Dallas's EIN number, but you found their DUNS number on Dun and Bradstreet's website, well, who gives a rat's ass about their EIN number? Because you can't be a part of their clique without it. So when you start to understand things like that, and you realize that there's no real crime attached to these moving violations, now you can come back to these people and say, well, hey, Mr. Clerk of this county that I got this ticket in, here's you guys' DUNS number. I wouldn't, you know, you guys hide your EIN number very well. I'll tell them that in a letter. But I do have you guys' DUNS number, and you can't get that without an EIN number. I'm not interested in contracting with you, because this is what these tickets are. It's an offer to contract. So one of the things you want to express to these people is that I don't want to contract with you. And if you all feel that I just have to pay this ticket, then I don't want to be responsible for tax fraud. So I'm going to send all of this information to the IRS. And it's funny because like with the Form 56, Form 3949A, which is snitching forms. That's what I like to call when you want to snitch on corporations, judges, courts, prosecutors, clerk of the court, and all that. It's a form to tell on them. These people are not paying taxes. You have to understand 28 USC 3002 subsection 15B tells you that the department of this and the state of this and the state of that are under the same instrumentality or the same umbrella, as you will, of the United States themselves. So in other words, when the United States Incorporated got established, they started to franchise. And those franchises that you know of is the state of Arizona, the state of Illinois, the state of Wyoming, the state of Washington. Where it's like, well, wait a minute, Lone Wolf, what the hell you mean? They all got DUNS numbers. I done told y'all in my own videos, man, y'all want the list? Hit me up. Hit me up, man, in the email, Aboriginalloneolf, #1 @gmail. Hit me up. I'll send you the list of damn near every state and every major city in that state. Like the main city, the biggest city in that state, like Chicago is the biggest city in Illinois. I have Illinois' DUN number, and I also have the city of Chicago's DUN number. So I'll send that to Irish Martinez or whatever clerk, whatever county I might be in when they stop me and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. I'll send them a letter like, hey, man, here's you guys' DUNS number, man. Here's also a Form 56. There's another Form 56. It has an E after it, and that stands for entity. I'm looking into that form. They're saying that form is the form you're supposed to use when you're dealing specifically with courts and banks. Form 56E, the E stands for entity. But regardless of all of that, once they understand you know these things, they usually back off because you're giving them prior notice. It all leads to a paper trail when it comes down to, you know what I'm saying, like you wanting to take them into court and hold them liable. You got to have a trail. You got to leave a paper trail. So you reaching out to them is doing just that. Now, there's some things I don't really want to go into too much tonight because I don't have a lot of information in regards to it. And I know Red is going to open up for some questions. But stamps are very powerful. I know that I put out how you guys can mail your stuff through the post office prepaid. But you guys also want to take a look at the Stamp Act of 1863. And you want to start to learn about postal stamps and why they are so important. I have found under Title 26 of the Internal Revenue Code, and hopefully real quick I can find the actual code, but they talk to you about paying back taxes with postal stamps. Just off the top of my head, because I'm not looking at the Stamp Act of 1863. The 2 cent, the 5 cent, the 10 cent, the 25, I think it's a 50 cent, $1, $5, and a $10 postal stamp. Because it's not every denomination. It's not the ones like the Forever stamp. Forget those. Or like whatever a stamp costs now, per stamp, whatever the going rate is. It's like 60 cents or some shit. We're not talking about those. Because most of y'all probably didn't know that. But yeah, they got 2 cent stamps. They still got them. They still got 1 cent stamps. All you got to do is ask the lady at the desk for them. If they got them, they'll give them to you. If they ain't out of them. 1 cent, 2 cent, you know what I'm saying? But the 2 cent stamps, the 5 cent stamps, the 10 cent stamps, I know it's a 50 cent stamp, but I think it's a 25 cent one too. There's a $1, a $5, and a $10 postal stamp. One of the things they don't tell you, a lot of these gurus, they don't tell you that postal stamps are backed by gold to this day. They don't tell you that your tax dollars and all this stuff go directly to the queen. That's the reason why you're supposed to put postal stamps on them. Listen, do you know when you read the Postal Stamp Act of 1863, they tell you you're supposed to put postal stamps on playing cards. For all you brothers and sisters that like to play spades and talk and shit, all you gotta do is download the PDF. I ain't lying. It's a wicked game. And like I say, I'm looking right now real quick to find the under Title 26 of where they talk about this. Now, like I said, I don't want to get into it too much just because of the fact that I'm still learning that. What I want to switch to real quick right now is for people who are dealing with certain things in regards to debt. One of the things that I am learning is one of the most powerful things that you can use in regards to clearing up your credit. Because my credit score has went north for the last year and a half for close to damn near 200 points now. The Privacy Act of 1974 forbids any of these companies to do what it is that they're doing regarding whatever's on your credit report. And I got to say it like that because mine may not look like yours and yours may not look like mine. You feel me? 15 USC 6801 through 6805 talks extensively about being able to opt out. So here it is. The way it works is like this. What's up on your credit report, right? It could be a car note, it could be a mortgage, it could be whatever. Because of the Privacy Act and because this shit was signed into law by Congress under 5 USC 5528 is the United States Code. But it's under Public Law 93-579. Okay? Because they're regulated by this. And we're talking about your financial institutions. And y'all know what that could be. That could be like when you bought your car, you know what I'm saying, the finance company. It could be an actual bank. It could be the folks that gave you the credit card. It could be the mortgage, whether if it was through like a mortgage company itself or through a credit union. It doesn't matter. They all fall under that branch of financial institution. Well, they're all regulated under the Privacy Act, meaning that you can't release this information to the public. Okay? And now we're talking about to a third party. Let me put it like that. You can't release this information to the public to a third party. So in other words, when you enter into your contract with your mortgage company, that's one and two parties. The mortgage company is a party, and you yourself who contracted with them for the house is a party. If they put that shit on Experian, that's a third party. Now, they strictly tell you under 15 USC 6801 through 6805, I recommend you read them all. And also under 16 CFR 313.7, and particularly subsection F, it tells you you can opt out at any time. Not only that, it also tells you that they're supposed to tell you in the beginning that you have a right to opt out. But because they know that a lot of these companies are crooked and they're not going to tell you, that's where 16 CFR 313.7 come from, subsection F. That's where that comes into play. Well, it's like, well, you know, maybe you agreed to it. Maybe they didn't say anything to you. But if you ever find out, you got a right to opt out at any time. And those are their words, not mine. And the way that you're supposed to start this is you initially go through the credit agency themselves. And you let them know that being a consumer that's protected by federal law, because that's what all of that shit is. It ain't for you, it's for them. Again, like how you've heard Red say, you know, the Constitution is perfect. They just don't abide by it. Everything is cool the way they got it laid out. They fucking fraudulent. That's where the whole thing about you being able to opt out at any time come from. So you start with your credit agencies. You go to them and you let them know that per 15 USC 6801 through 6805, I have a right to opt out. You all were supposed to told me this in the beginning. When they went to try to put this on Experian and TransUnion is supposed to reach out to you and say, hey, man, you know, Jim Redwolf, man, you want to put this shit on your credit, Joe. You want me to let him do it? And then Rondo was supposed to say yes or no. And if Rondo said no, then Jim Redwolf can't do it. Even though, goddammit, Rondo got the contract with Jim Redwolf. They don't give a fuck about that part. And it don't say that he still can't come after him for his money. They ain't saying that. It don't mean that he can't come after Rondo for that contract because he, you know, defaulted on or whatever the case may be. It just means that you can't just plaster his shit all over the place. You know why? Because your credit score hurts you. It keep you from getting an apartment. It keep you from getting a fucking job. It keep you from like buying a house, a car, and anything else, man. So when you cause that kind of harm, That's unlawful. You can't cause that kind of harm. Then not only that, 15 USC 1681 talks to you about, and this is attached to the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It talks to you about how this information is supposed to be accurate. And when they say accurate, they're talking about right down to the letter for every agency. If $1 is off, you know how you look at your credit score and they give you a payment history of how many payments you made, whether or not they was on time and all this other stuff. If one date is wrong, they got to erase it all. Let's say you got a balance of something. Hey, oh, you know, Red still owed $12,568. And that's what Experian say. Then you go to TransUnion. TransUnion say he owe $11,815. Right there, that shit is not accurate. They got to remove it all. So you have the fact that you get all three of your credit reports, you sit them down side by side, you go through each individual account by account, and you look at the dates. You look at the numbers in terms of the balances and everything. If one thing is wrong, it all has to go. And even with that, like how I told you, you can opt out of it at any time. You can call Experian up in the morning, and all of them addresses that you got on your credit report, addresses you ain't lived at in 30 years, you know what I'm saying? That's on your credit report under the personal information. You can get up in the morning, as soon as Experian open, you can call them up and say, hey, dig this here, family. I got my most recent credit report in front of me, and I'm discovering that it's got a ton of addresses under my personal information, and I want to have them removed because they're non-mailable addresses, all right? Non-mailable addresses, okay? And before you get off the phone, that'll be gone. Now, if they try to give you any crap like how they did me about one address, here it is. I got I'm only claiming one address, right? The other 20 is off. They wrong. I say, look, man, you gotta get rid of all those. We get all the way down to the one of them, right? And he's like, well, you know, they're saying that this is attached to an account that you had with somebody and this, that, and the other, right? Now, mind you, under the Privacy Act and all that, you can opt out, right? So that part don't even matter. But what made that more interesting is when I Googled the address, because I'm looking like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I should live in Romeoville and all this, but I don't know about this address. It was to the Walmart in Romeoville. And it's like, well, wait a minute, bro, that's under my personal information. You can't leave that shit on there. That's the address to a business. I don't work for them, and I don't live there. Get that shit off my fucking credit. And they took it off. We have to learn what 28 U.S.C. 2002 subsection 15A means. We have to be able to recite what 15 U.S.C. 1681 is. We have to know that if we want to know what the word definition of a word means for the Internal Revenue Service, we have to go to 26 U.S.C. 7701. Why? Because that's the definition section.
Hey, Originalloaneolf, let me ask you a question. Hey, like with the post office, there is a handbook that has this information. What about
International Mail Manual?
International Mail Manual. Now, what about all this as far as with dealing with the so-called courts? So that way they know exactly where they're going to look it up. Because not everybody's, you know, linear when it comes to this kind of information. You know what I'm saying? They don't really know where to search this at. Even though you could type it in and they should be writing this down. Where is it that they can go and actually sit down and they can go through all, you know what I'm saying, whether it be case laws or whatever?
Okay, well, one thing that they can research is the Postal Treaty, because that's where it all starts. Okay, because you can't even be recognized as a sovereign nation if you're unwilling to be able to communicate worldwide with people. And that's what the post office was originally for before they corrupted it. What the postal workers are following now is the International Mail Manual. It's their manual. This is where you can get a lot of this information in regards to what I'm talking about. You can also take it a step further because we didn't adopt the Universal Postal Union. You know, we got to be special. Just like when the United Nations did their Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, we didn't sign on to it. We created our own that mirrored theirs. Well, it's the same thing with that. We have the International Mail Manual because we got to be special. But if you want to go full-blown balls to the wall where you get everything, the Universal Postal Union Manual which comes directly out of Bern, Switzerland, because that's the corporate headquarters. The corporate headquarters for the post office is not Washington, D.C.
Right, it's Switzerland.
Okay?
Exactly. With the head
It's
of
Bern,
the
Switzerland.
snake or the head of the corporation.
Right.
Listen to that.
And this is
What
where you
about-
would also go to get.
Did you address?
This is also.
Did you?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
This is also the Universal Postal Union in Bern, Switzerland is also where you will be your last resort when you want to get the United States Postmaster in trouble. You're supposed to go to them. You
Now,
follow the chain of command. You deal with your local post office. Yes, sir.
No. When you get done, I want you to finish it up, but I want you to address DeAndre Baldwin. Or did you address that as far as the UCC?
Oh, no, hold on. If you have an open claim in court, should one file a UCC1 to stop all linear being placed on all caps name? Well, see, here's the thing about that. I'm not 100% sure about what court case you're talking about, but let me just explain this to you about the UCC number one. All the UCC number one is really signifying is that you have an interest in said whatever. You have an interest in it. And if you are the first one to file that UCC1 for whatever that said interest might be in, then your interest is supreme. So in other words, let me give you an example of what I'm saying. Let's say you file a UCC number one against your car, saying that you have said interest in it, right? And then they turn around and try to impound it, or they try to put a boot on it. Either they got to release your shit to you, or if they sell it, whatever proceeds they get come to you. That's basically all the UCC number one is. It says that you have said interest in something. So in other words, like this, if you go and buy a car, the dealership or the finance company is supposed to fill out a UCC number one to say that they have an interest in it because you agreed to make so many payments until you paid it off. And if you don't, they can come get the car. That's a lien, basically. That's basically all it is. It's just a lien. Now, when you do the UCC number one to show that you have an interest in said process, material or property, it automatically triggers a UCC number 11 for the consumer. So now the consumer knows that there's a lien against said whatever. It could be the house, it could be the car, it could be the ATVs, the four-wheelers. It doesn't matter. So that's all the UCC number one is for. It's to keep somebody else coming in front of you to say, oh man, no, this is mine. Basically. As far as with the all capital letter name, how can I put this, man? Because it's fraud. And y'all know that. Use it to your advantage when it suits you, and when it don't suit you, don't fool with it at all. This is the reason for why you're supposed to put people on notices. You're supposed to create your own affidavits and all of that. So you got to understand, you didn't create that all capital letter shit. You don't have a right to take anything that somebody else, and whoever create something, they control it. This is why you go get patents and all this other shit. So with far as them creating a fictitious corporation off of your back, the only thing you can do is scream fraud to get yourself out of whatever it is that they doing. This is the reason for what.
Let me ask you this. I created my own EIN because I know about Wizard of Oz. I know there's a story about the straw man, about us not having a brain or a heart to actually stand up to the the corporation. Because the corporation,
you are the corporation.
But we are the corporation. That's right. Wait, let me finish there.
That is the corporation.
But is there a benefit in creating your own EIN? And people, by the way, it's free.
I mean, I got one.
Right. But most people don't know about it.
Yeah, you can go to the IRS's website and create one for free. I mean, I did it when I when I went to Will County and I incorporated my all capital letter name, as a DBA. I went and got an EIN number 2. Right. So I'm not gonna tell nobody not to go and get one. You know what I'm saying?
But most people don't know how to use it. They don't know how to use it.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm still learning. And one of the reasons for why I've not done nothing with it, Red, in all these years is because I really don't want to fool with them. The thing of the matter is this. I'm going to say it like this, and I'm going to leave this part alone. We can't talk about certain things on here. What we all are probably coming into the knowing is, even though we may not want to use this shit, we're going to have to use it to some aspect to get where we're trying to go. And that's all I can really say about that. We can't go into details on here about that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Look at baby girl, right? She says, don't you have to pay taxes on it? That's if you're back in the LLC and you're using your EIN instead of the Social Security card.
Well, see, it depends.
It's deep. It's weird.
you got to understand that when it comes down to what the Internal Revenue Service, and this is for I Am Baby Girl Slaughter. When it comes down to the Internal Revenue Service, one of the things you got to understand and you got to really get to know intimately is their definition to these words. So when you look up the definition of a trade or a business under 26 USC 7701, which is their definition section, it gives you the definition of that right along with the United States, and everything else. When you look up the definition of a trade or a business under Title 26 of the Internal Revenue Code, it tells you motherfucker who perform the functions of a public office. So now if you don't hold a public office, and if whatever so-called income that you got coming in was not derived within the United States, meaning Guam, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, American Samoa, you're not a federal contractor and all that, that shit don't apply to you. So in other words,
right.
the baby girl you just had up on the screen, if she a hairstylist and she running her own salon, she ain't supposed to be paying taxes just like somebody that's punching the clock from 9 to 5 every day.
Exactly.
Why? Because they tell you the definition of a trade or a business is somebody who performs the functions of a public office.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Those are their words, not mine. So these are some of the things that we have to understand. We really have to start digging into that kind of stuff. Because why? Well, you want to turn around and use it against them. In Black Law's Dictionary, they tell you the definition of a driver is someone who is employed to operate that carriage or that motorized vehicle. So now you have to ask a police officer, well, hey man, are you accusing me of using these roads to make money? They tell you that the definition of a license, basically they license people like 007. Because in their words, they tell you the definition of a license is to do something that will to grant permission, usually by a competent authority, to do something that will otherwise be illegal. So in other words, what they said to me is this, that if I don't go to them to get permission, me spending the rest of my life with I Am Baby Slaughter without their permission is illegal. And me and you both know damn well that's not the case. But when you don't understand U.S. citizen, because it all starts there, when you don't understand U.S. citizen is an employee of an entity, and in this case, a federal corporation, that the definition of the United States is a federal corporation, right? So that means a U.S. citizen is an employee of that federal corporation. This is how you get privileges. This is how they tell you driving privilege is not a right. Well, yeah, if I work for your corporation, they got to give you permission. In other words, you can't just go into a warehouse and get on a forklift and start driving around. It's literally the same thing. You can't just go to Yellow Freight or whatever that just went out of business and go and jump in one of their rigs and pull off. Why? They didn't give you permission. So when they tell you that driving is a right and is a privilege and not a right, that's what they're trying to tell you. You work for a corporation, you got to come to us to be able to get these rights, to do this, because it's their business. So it all starts there, guys. I cannot put that to you all enough. It all starts there. And it's like how I said to you all, because of what they are doing is fraud. Me and Red was talking about this earlier, which I'm not going to get too much into, but security fraud. These people are committing securities fraud because, matter of fact, I'm going to talk about it just a little bit just because I got my hands on it. Do you guys know that according to what I'm going to show y'all right now, and Red, you're going to see it too because we was talking about this on the phone. Do y'all know what I'm holding in my hand? This is part of a page that was left out of my contract when I bought my car. Do you know Continental Autos, located 6701 South LaGrange Road in Hotchkiss, Illinois? Do you know the motherfucker sold my contract the minute I signed it? Hey, Lone Wolf, what's your email address, bro? Aboriginal Lone Wolf. #1 at Gmail. So put an A in front of it. It's not original lone wolf, it's aboriginal. Aboriginal lone wolf, #1 at Gmail. This piece of paper right here literally is telling me that they sold my debt, my contract to Exeter Finance the minute I signed it. It also tells them that they got paid up front the minute I signed it. The dealership got paid up front the minute I signed it. It's right here. They turned around and sold my contract to Exeter Finance, and then Exeter turned around and made me pay the same motherfucking money that I paid the goddamn dealership. So where the securities fraud comes in at, the dealership got paid off for my signature, right? Y'all been hearing Red talk about the shit for the longest. The dealership got paid the minute I signed the shit. You know what I'm saying? They got paid the minute I signed it. So here it is, that's a profit. They just made some bread, right? They turned around and sold the contract to Exeter. Exeter paid them for it. That means they just got paid again. So that means you literally just created this phenomenon of revenue off of my one signature. You didn't tell me, and you didn't give me a cut. As I explained to Red, this is one of the reasons for why they use arbitration. Arbitration just prevents you from settling it in a court. That's it. Arbitration means we're going to settle this shit in-house. That's all it means. And one of the reasons for why they're doing this, and this is just some new stuff that I'm learning now, because certain stuff I don't want to talk about just yet. I don't want to turn y'all on to the people that I'm learning this from yet until I'm sure who they are and that I've got enough of what I need to see that it worked, like how I did with the post office before I turn other people onto this. But these people are literally, and then not only that, Exeter turned around and did the same thing. They sold it to somebody else, and then they sold it, and they basically trading it. You could do it for up to 30 years. So when I get a little bit more information about that, we're going to swing back down on that, because what happened is these major corporations, like I told Red, they got together and they came up, right along with the help of the courts, they came up with this arbitration shit. And the reason for why is because if you can prove securities fraud, you can take them to federal court and they're going to lose. Now, these are some of the things that I'm learning now, because I'm replacing this 1099A shit. I've never filled out one. I've never sent it off, and I thank God I haven't. The chatter that I'm getting is they're starting to move away from these affidavits. Now, I don't know how true that is, because I did get 2 of my credit reporting agencies to take the repo off my credit. I did use affidavits and shit with some other stuff to get it off. So I'm not going to say that it's completely dead filling out affidavits. But right now, and it's funny because Yusufel has done a video, and I know the video he did, it was in response to this person that I'm telling y'all about, that I'm going to wait before I turn y'all on to him. Because I know I share shit with y'all. Y'all know that. I know damn well that recent video that Yusufel did maybe about 4 or 5 days ago, that was in response to them, because people are tired. They're tired of the lies and the bullshit, and you charging people $1,800 and all this other shit, and you running off of that myth that the game is to be sold and not told. People sick of this shit. So right now, one of the hottest things that's out there is you getting familiar with the Privacy Act, and you getting familiar with your shit being reported accurately. Did you know that under the Privacy Act, that not only Privacy Act, the education, oh man, it's god damn, the Education Act and the Privacy Act of 1974, they're not supposed to report that shit for your student loans. Right now, they're handing out checks for anybody who got their student loan waived and forgiven. Let's say they forgave $50,000 of your student loan. They owe you a check for $50,000. Yeah. So right now, everything that I'm talking to you all about, the Privacy Act,
tell it,
and being able to opt out, this is the hottest thing that they're dealing with, because like I told you, the chain of command to that, as far as opting out in particularly, Be careful with that, because if you get them to erase everything, it's like you ain't got no credit at all. So kind of be careful and be strategic, because I've opted out of a couple of things, but I left some stuff on. You see what I'm saying? But the way it works with the chain of command, you go directly to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Do your username and password. It's free. They'll even give you the basic shit for free, where they let you roam through the site and look at your credit whenever you want to, print it out once a week and all this other shit. They let you do all that for free. This is also where you'll send your disputes. Okay? You start with them, especially with the opting out, because the federal government is all over that. And Experian and Equifax has gotten in some trouble with the CFPB as of lately. I don't know if y'all seen that, where Equifax had to pay out some money and all this other stuff. That's because of the stuff that I'm talking to you all about. You can't sit up here and get 5 million letters in 1 year and you only respond to 1%. You can't do that shit, especially when it's a situation where you have that type of power, but you're not regulated by Congress. You weren't created by Congress. And I don't know if anybody know that or not. But TransUnion, Equifax, LexisNexis, and all the rest of those motherfuckers, they didn't come from Congress. They just a company. They just a corporation, and they doing things off of your ignorance, like you not understand you have a right to privacy. Straight up. They are not a government entity, guys. TransUnion and all those dudes. They're not. They're just a fucking company. So you start by doing your username and passwords for the 3 main. I got to get back with the sister ToLU Cherokee, because she got some hard pipe hitting shit on the LexisNexis side. ToLU Cherokee. I ain't talked to her in a minute, but I ain't been doing the Zoom meetings either. But I got to get back with her because she got some step-by-step shit. You dig? But you start out with your main 3, do your username and password, you print off your credit reports, get it to where you can be looking at them at the same time. Figure out how you want to address it. What accounts you want to go first, what's going to be next, and so forth. And you start your dispute with them in regards to opting out. If they refuse to do it, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is the one that regulates that under 15 U.S.C. 6801 through 6805, where it talks to you about opting out, and 16 CFR 313.7, subsection F, which tells you can opt out at any time. Well, if you read those legislations, you'll discover that the CFPB is the ones that's responsible for that. So if they do give you some shit about opting out, then you go and you should have a username and password set up for the CFPB anyway. I would do it. But those will be the next step that you will go to, because they could be sued for this. For anybody who don't know about these credit agencies, they can be sued for this shit.
What about that? Let me ask this question, right? And because I want to open it up for if some people have some questions other than ones, because they're asking a lot of questions right now. What about, I remember when I was in the military, they used to be like, yo, James, when they ask you to check your credit report, be careful. And we heard about this in law school, right? Because it's like they add, like every time you go, it drops your rating. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's called.
Is that still going on?
Yeah, it's called the inquiry. Hell yeah, inquiries drop your score.
Wow, that's crazy.
Now, 15 USC 1681 subsection B, permissible purposes. The way that works is like this. Any motherfucking inquiry on your report that you don't have an active account with, gotta go. If you do not have an active account on your credit report from one of those inquiries, they cannot keep that shit on there. See the game?
That's freaking, and that's to keep certain people down. Saying there's some people who don't even know they have decent credit, and
listen,
they could be at 730. They could be at 730, and then check it about 3 times a year, and then before you know, they're at 625.
What happens, bro? Here's one of the problems with these inquiries that are on your report. When you have inquiries on your report that don't show up under your active credit report as you having an active account with them, to other people looking at that, it looks as if you've been turned down. So why would I fool with you? They dropped after, I think, 3 or 5 years. I can't remember. I didn't see the first one. She said something before that.
Yeah,
I didn't see the first one.
Well, no, she was just allocating that, you know.
Yeah, yes, they do. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Hell yeah.
It does fall off. Yes, correct.
Hey,
correct.
Listen. listen to this too, right? Check this shit out, y'all. This is where a hard credit and a soft credit come from. People got tired of that shit. They got tired of that. You mean to tell me just because somebody ran my credit, you dropped my score, you piece of shit?
And that's somebody else. Yes. When you have a car company or them check your credit, it drops it right then and there.
Yeah. Listen, on one of my accounts, I forgot which one. I don't know which one it is, but on one of them, I got a credit freeze on that. You can't even pull my shit without my permission.
Wow. Well, check your mic. Make sure it's on real good. Okay. Yeah, really good. You good. That's crazy, man. And you know what? That actually is really illegal, but nobody knows about it, so they can't counter or they can't, question it. And most people don't know how to score, and most people don't know how to call Experian, FICA. They don't know how to call the 3 branches. Most people don't know how to do that.
And then if you don't know about the Privacy Act and the other things that I just got through citing, you don't even know what to tell them if you found the phone number.
Exactly right. And I meant to say something. I had to go on. The cat was anyway. Get the box and throw it away. The 1199A and the what you call C, they still work. Matter of fact, a lot of business owners over here, they utilize it when they purchase their vehicles, and they also get gas money, a gas card. Yeah, it's real, and sometimes they'll opt for it. That's how a friend of mine's opened this boat building company. They opted for like $2 million, but yet they had to prove, and they opened a boat company. So yeah, not that far from Honda. So yeah.
Well, what I'm learning now that hopefully I can turn y'all on to, because the person that I'm learning a lot of this stuff from now is a sister, ironically. Okay, and from what she's expressing, the 1099Cs is a little bit more valuable for you than the 1099A, but you got to know what you're doing. Now, I'm learning things about indenture. Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. One of the things that I'm also learning too is that these entities know that these debts are supposed to be discharged. Right. When you go under the Security and Exchange Commission's website and you start looking up specific companies, like in my case, T-Mobile, for example, within their jargon under the Security and Exchange Commission's website, they talk to you about the debts are supposed to be discharged. So what the sister is teaching today is when you want to use a 1099-C, you have to get the indentured trustees information, the person that's responsible for dealing with the securities. When you get those monthly statements in the mail, they're securities. That's what the TDA account is for. So again, I don't want to go too far off into that because, like I said, I'm still learning. You want to pull these people 8K and 10K form under the Security and Exchange Commission's website for whatever company it may be. I just brought up T-Mobile because that was the first company that I did it for. You feel me? But it's for whatever company, whatever your mortgage company is, whatever the finance company, whoever, right? This is where you're supposed to go. Now, I also want to touch on this quick too, Red, about this UCC 11.
Yeah, go ahead.
They don't have no lien in your name. So far, I know Rondo did it. You know what I'm saying? The sister Janet, if I'm not mistaken, she did it. The last time I talked to Lou Cherokee, she was in the process of doing it, where she's going to get a certified copy of UCC 11. You're supposed to go to the Secretary of State to have them release your MSO once you can prove that it ain't no contract. I'll be looking at all this. Now, as far as that's concerned, I got to get another whip first before I could do that. But, we already did my UCC 11. I showed y'all. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no debt in my name. So if you ever had a house foreclosed, if you was like me and had a car repossessed or something like that, it's all fraud.
Yeah. Straight up thief. Theft. Straight up theft, yes.
Yep.
And, how about this? I actually talked about this a couple of years ago. Whenever they give your stuff to a third party, that is completely illegal.
What you mean? It's in their terms and conditions.
No. If they give it to a third party, I had to go and look it up too. I got to go upstairs and get my little folders. A lot of veterans were talking about it. If they give, like, say if you deal with Capital One, right, and you haven't paid on it, let's say you were locked up and they didn't know it, and you come out, Now they gave it to a third party. That is illegal. You didn't make a contract.
Yeah, man. And then not only that,
because it's already paid off. See, people don't know this, you know.
Right. Well, that's what this is about.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what this paper here that I'm showing you. Yeah, that's what that's about. But damn, you made me lose my train of thought.
Also talk about the arbitration, but that's something else. But yeah.
Well, again, they're supposed to be doing away with arbitration too.
Okay,
they're supposed to pass a law to do away with it.
That's like quality immunity, like you stated when we was talking earlier. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
They are supposed to done away with arbitration. If I'm not mistaken, I have to go back and look it up. But if I'm not mistaken, they've done away with it.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah. Look it up, and I'm definitely gonna look in. I actually got my witch card on here. I'm gonna go in there and just type that in, arbitration. Where does it stand? And see actually what they have, or how they're allocating, or if they even utilizing it.
And as far as the third party is concerned, they tell you in their own terms and conditions.
Wow.
If you get a credit card through Discover, in their terms and conditions, they tell you they can't release their shit to an outside third party.
Yeah,
they tell you that.
Well, it's actually in small print, but nobody reads that.
Right. But see, but also too, Red, that's alluding to what we was just talking a second ago about with Congress and 5 USC 552A subsection B and all that. They telling you that they got to do that. They telling you they have to do it. Yeah, they got to put that shit in the term. They tell you, if you read that shit y'all heard me cite to y'all, they tell you that prior to it ever happening, you must be notified. That means before they send your shit to the collection agency, before they put it on Experian, TransUnion, any of that, they got to tell you first. And they have to give you the right to say no. Before you sign that car contract, before you sign those mortgage payments to buy that house, they supposed to tell you this shit.
And they don't.
And they don't. And the stuff that y'all just heard me cite, if you go read it, you're going to be like, holy shit, you're right. They do it. Tell you right here. They're supposed to tell you this.
Ergo, the vehicle's paid the moment you sign it, but not knowing about the arbitration, you can't stop a second party. And like you said, for 30 years, everybody keeps going into your gold, into what is under you, and you are paying double, triple, quadruple, and nobody knows this.
From what the sister is breaking down to me that I'm learning now, she's expressing to the fact that if you want to win in arbitration, you got to screen securities fraud.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons for why arbitration was created to begin with.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? See, there's no legal precedent behind it if you're doing arbitration. And like how me and you talked on the phone, if you go look at some of the case law, people who've tried to sue companies.
Yeah.
Some of the people who've tried to sue companies have had their case thrown out because they got to go through arbitration. The motherfucker tried to sue Discover or whatever. Discover attorney come in there and be like, "Oh, excuse me, judge, such and such." She signed the arbitration clause, and case dismissed.
Wow. Even though that is really not legal, but
but also too though, Reg, you got to understand what they screaming. They not screaming security fraud. They screaming something else, something like
they should be screaming. Right. They're supposed to be saying security fraud. That's the hit.
Right. Instead of saying securities fraud or going after them for that, they're saying all of the debt is supposed to be discharged upon the back of the United States. House Joint Resolution 192 and all this other stuff. These are their arguments. That's why the shit getting thrown out.
I'm gonna come on up in here, man. Because this is goddamn too good, man. I hope people really paying attention. I'm gonna let him go a little more, but listen here, y'all. This is still practical, regardless of what's going on. Enemies behind the gate and all that. This is the reason why I felt it was very important to bring our brother on, because a lot of y'all haven't subscribed to his channel, and it makes no sense to me, because he really is delving into this. Me, I traveled the earth. I knew a whole bunch of people in my ancestral line. I was told different things. I was able to do different things, even though, like, when I took a different oath, it was only 4 to 5 different words that I changed when I made my oath that they wanted to stop me. And at the very end, because I was like, can I prick my thumb and is there anywhere I could sign? And they looked at me like I was crazy, because Young Cat wanted to stop me, but the Lieutenant JG was like, as long as nobody else is saying what he's saying, He's good. And everything applied to me a little different while I was in the military. But not everybody knew it, because this is what we're dealing with, the consortium. So if you don't know to make that statement, security fraud, you're going to be talking about, it's paid off. And when that fool of a fake-ass esquire, the joust, comes into the magistrate and makes that statement, it's dismissed because you didn't know how to do it. Just like when a police officer pulls you over. Majority of them don't know the Constitution, right? But if you don't know how to invoke your First Amendment, that means that, look, I'm going to record this, but I'm invoking the first so you know. And then when they start asking questions, you know what? You worried about, you talking about you smell something, you want to look at my car, I'm invoking the fourth, but I'm also invoking the fifth, because now you're stepping out of line. And you don't say a goddamn thing. That's it. But see, if you don't know that, you can sit there talking about, can you articulate speech? Can you articulate crime? And they be looking at you like, oh, we got one of these idiots. No, you got to know how to invoke your rights. Same thing with walking into that so-called courthouse of Goddess Athena. All right?
Yeah.
That most people aren't aware of, because they don't teach you in this fake-ass education system, because they need to keep you duplicitous and down. You dig what I'm saying? You know, we always have people come in, and we love that y'all come in, and we have the weak ones fall off who think they know everything, or they're just looking because they're surfing the net. Well, there's no booty clapping on these channels, and we're not here to make people laugh. This is very serious, because most of our brothers and sisters don't know this. You dig what I'm saying? And me and him been following each other for a minute. I need to get his ass here to Arizona, all right? And he needs to know importance. They got charts up talking about where the red dots is, where nobody's really going to be at. It's going to be like untouched earth. We know about Utah, which is Judah, and everything else. And all the people are going to be concentrated in small areas. No. People need to come here because we need to step up against. We need to put our big foot down. And because nobody knows how to make a true imprint, this is the reason why I like to have good people on. I want to bring OG Philly on. Philly OG. I want to bring him on because he's got an excellent mind, an older cat like us, you know what I'm saying? And we need to have this. It needs to be structured in a way, because they want to hide this stuff. You know, I mean, I told you he was going to re-raw. You know me, when I get to get the motherfuckers and everything in, they come. And it's natural, because we're tired. Now, go ahead and finish up, brother. I just had to say something. Damn, boy, this is good. This is good. I love it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that people need to understand is, what we're talking about right now is why you're seeing the world the way that it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason. You know, the slaves are rebelling. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Does he have more than one channel? Me? Well, yeah. Okay, it's kind of like this.
It's still there. I'm on
channel, it. My very first channel was taken down, baby girl. They literally took it down. That was the channel where I put up my court case for CPS and all that on there, right? They tore up the city with George Floyd. Just about anything you can imagine, I was creating content and putting on that channel. They took that one down. My backup channel, Original Lone Wolf True News, that channel is still up.
Yep.
Right? And they Google, right?
You can't use it, though. You can't use it.
Suspended the account.
Right. It's still there.
Okay.
I'm subscribed to it. I'm like, what the hell?
Right. YouTube didn't do it. Google did it. This was right after the merger. This was right after the merger. So that channel was still up. You could go there. You would see my face and everything, but they won't let me in it.
I attempted to get Jay Davis, our brother in our SMN chats. You know, a lot of the brothers here, Original Lone Wolf, West Side, a lot of us are in there, trauma and everything. And because, you know, he's going through that with his old lady, because, you know what I'm saying? Because you saw it on Big Dog Philly, you know what I'm saying, OG? And he had that, you know what I'm saying? And I really wanted to hit it. So we got to see what's going on with him and make sure he's aware of this as far as like Child Protective Service, which is not a Child Protective Service at all. You know, how to go about it, even in the aftermath, because some people don't know that this is eloquence. You've got to be able to walk a fine rope without emotions. You have to be able to separate that, and you have to get all the paperwork, and you got to say, actually, regardless of what took place, the veracity of it all, if I haven't used drugs beforehand or afterhand, and you want to conscript me into a straw man character and make me into something based on the war against not just terror, but against drugs, that is the excuse they're using to take the majority of people's babies right now. Still, and that's not just caustic; it is felonious.
It's also the source to child support. And there's a brother named Emerald.
Yes. See, child support is illegal now. Don't get it twisted; it's illegal. Ain't nothing illegal about it.
No. That's what I'm saying. It's a brother down in down in Georgia. His name is Emrose. EMROS. The brother be child support.
Let me pull that in. Yeah. Oh, I remember that was a while ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They changed it, but it still works.
I don't know if you know the brother or not, but he had a channel up years ago, and something happened to it. They took it down. They did something.
I followed it. He had a different name.
But he's back now, though. He's back. He's back up with another channel. And he's able to not have to pay child support, not only for a child that he alleging that he don't even get to see, but he got also not paying child support based on what it is that we're talking about. Yeah, that guy right there, Red. Yeah, that's him, y'all. That's him. Yeah. Yeah, his name is Emrose. EMROS. But yep, that's him. That's the guy. And he talks to you about the whole thing about knowing that they're a corporation and he's entering into a third-party contract and all. He talks about that's what you got to do. It's all corporate shit. Right. It's all corporate shit, man. And this
has nothing to do with the legal. Nothing to do with the legal man.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's why. Well, you know that, Red. That's why you get into the whole thing about your name is in all capital letters.
Exactly. And as I Am Baby Girl Slaughter, oh, who was that? Whoever made that statement? It's facts. And if you litigate under that, guys, with the living, with the fictional, it's like talking in a second person. They're gonna deal with you like that. Because now that fictional person is given a voice. That's the whole thing with the metaverse. They want to retire you, and they want to create machines to further lock you up.
Yeah.
You know, when you're walking around, you have apps and phones and the chip, and you'll see numbers and be able to see the life of everybody you walk by. Crazy shit.
It'll be like Professor Xavier with Cerebral.
Yeah, yo, you'll be walking around talking about Lamb's hat ain't working. Nah, they done surpassed that, cuz you better get motherfucking what's that name, Magneto? You better go and find Magneto's helmet, fool. And then you better get. Hey, listen, y'all, look at this. Y'all, I showed y'all them gas masks, right? Don't get it twisted. Now this is one of them other ones, but it ain't stopping nothing. All right, listen, you better get some lead and. You better learn how to make molds and smelt and all that other stuff. We got some incredible brothers and sisters, but go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so just remember that part. It all has something to do with a corporation. They have to pull you into their world by way of the all capital letter name, all of the information they give you, whether if it's a ticket, something they mail you, a summons, whatever. That's the only way that they can speak to you. Corporations don't talk. This is going back to what Red was talking about with the Wizard of Oz and how motherfucker don't have a brain, he don't have a heart. They're describing a corporation. You know what I'm saying? They're describing a corporation. A corporation is just a building, and it's an empty building until you start putting people in there that we know of as representatives.
Who did the wizard have to protect him? Let's just use the Wizard of Oz with Michael and them. He had monkeys.
Yeah, right. Flies,
a coward-ass wizard. Yeah. He had enough monkeys. They manifested to protect the lie.
And that's right. That's right. Yeah. That's right. And didn't know no better. They just did what they was told.
Made you believe that you couldn't think, that you ain't had no heart, and that you was empty. That you was empty. You didn't exist. And look, and a female who's too young to know anything walking with a black ass dog.
Right.
Paved with a road paved on your life. Talking about gold.
Yep.
10 man, straw man. cowardly lion.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. And then who do you think the fucking Oompa Loompas are?
And then now to add to that, especially if you go back to the so-called all-white version.
Not Oompa Loompas, whatever they call them damn things. You know what I'm talking about. What they the Oompa Loompas or some shit?
No, they was on. What did they go? You talking about? Oh,
They're the little short motherfuckers dancing around, the little mitts.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Charlie Fackman. I'm talking about in Wizard of Oz, the little tiny motherfuckers with the green hair. Well, they were the Munchkins.
Yeah.
Me on the Lonnie Lumpkins, the Lonnie Lumpkins.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be the twa and the niggas who no longer exist, but will dance and sing for you. You know, old St. Pat and all that kind of shit. See, people don't know this.
And then it took a little 8-ounce dog to pull the wool off of everybody's eyes to discover that was right? All an illusion.
That's the ghillie suit. That's the one who was able to come in there and was a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pulled the curtain back and discovered the shit was all an illusion.
And everybody else is missing it because they're too busy being complacent and following along. Me, when I was still up on the look, what the fuck? Oompa Loompa. That's Willy Wonka. And that's a deep, dark message too, y'all. Talking about some chocolate. But let me go and get the gold wrapper. Oh, I've got the golden ticket. Come on, man. Y'all gonna get me back doing stand-up comedy and shit. Come on, man. Come on, y'all. I don't even want to get into that. But and then look, and the monkeys, for us, them niggas got fat ass lips, black leather jackets.
Right,
Probably stroking each other something about, Dorothy, we're here to bring you to the wizard.
Right.
Lord have mercy. Who's Moloch?
Damn, man. And that's the game they play. Because as you already know, Red, there's a whole dynamic behind the Monopoly game.
Said the dog said I'm sick. How you doing, Blood?
But that's how it is, though. That's
gonna make me get some green Kool-Aid and put it in my hair running around. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh.
And that, like I say, that's the game. That's literally the game that these people are playing, man.
Yeah.
And they keep doing it.
Yeah.
They keep doing it, man. You know, the Obama movement.
Well, because we are not the nation we're supposed to be. Martin Luther King, when he said leading us to a burning house, and then he gave that great speech, and he said, we find the Negro language in the corners of his own land. See, this is what I'm saying. He was buying rifles and all that, and that's where the deacons with rifles got their guns, a lot of them. And they took them out because they knew that, oh, snap, we're a nation. We can all, check it out, if it was 2,000 of us on about 27, 40 acres, right? And we sit there and Biden says, look, we need to speak to y'all's president. Exactly like that. He cannot refuse that.
Right. Yeah.
The states, politicians, all them frauds couldn't stop nothing. We need an audience. I mean, who would you like an audience with? With y'all's president right now. But see, the problem is a lot of y'all don't want to leave where you're at. Because, why? You're like them little fucking Oompa Loompas and them goddamn munchkins. Y'all just standing around. You know, when you're slapping butt cheeks and you're sitting there putting all that perm and stuff in your hair, we on the honey pumpkin. That's how they see you. Oh, you're the monkeys flying on them goddamn motorcycles. You know what? The bad witch wasn't the one that was killed by the house. She was attempting to protect everything around her. It was that fake ass good witch who was the bad witch because she didn't want you to know everything. Remember? It was all a big secret. Figure it the fuck out. What part of the puzzle is that?
Yeah.
Because we didn't know, we couldn't infer the difference. Tactically, they slapped us upside the head and they kept the boot on our neck. George Floyd, much anybody?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I told you remember the story I told you about my homie and his cousin was the damn St. Paul correctional officer. You remember that story I told you about how the motherfucker said that they took all of the inmates off of that?
Reiterate it so they ain't hearing shit. Want me to tell?
Well,
So
I went up to well, y'all know they tore up Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Minneapolis. When did I go after the George Floyd thing? Because he literally told me don't come.
Wasn't that like
It was
about
about
4 years
3
ago?
weeks later. It was about 3 weeks after it initially happened. I went up there because he literally told me, bro, don't come here. Like they didn't fuck the place up. And they did. Because I initially went and they did. They really did.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, before I got up there, man, the man told me, he said, listen, because he's from Chicago and his cousin, who I'm telling you about is the correctional officer in St. Paul, he is from Chicago as well.
Okay.
So he hit me up. He said, bro, give me a pizza from Italian Fiesta. He told me what he wanted on it and everything like that. He said, man, make sure you don't forget because my cousin, he from Chicago too, and he wants some. So he goes on to tell me about how his cousin told him that when they brought the cop in there that was supposed to kill that George Floyd, they took all of the inmates off of, let's say for example, they put the cop on D block, just for example. Right. He said they removed all the inmates off D block. He said that they also told that the melanated COs could not work with him regardless of any shift.
He got stabbed, right?
He
got stabbed, right?
No. I'm talking about when he went to the county jail.
I thought he got stabbed here recently, though. Okay. Yeah.
No, that was in the joint. That's in the
that
joint.
was in okay. When they stabbed him.
I ain't talking about in the pen. I'm talking about in the county jail.
Okay.
So they supposed to took that man to St. Paul County Jail when they finally decided that they was going to do something about it. They say they took all the inmates out of that area that he was on. He was the only inmate. He said that they took all of they revamped all of the melanated COs. Regardless of shit, you could not work around this man. They say he was completely isolated from everybody. And the first thing I told my homie, I said, man, that's some bullshit. I ain't trying to hear that. He like, bro, my cousin had told me that they walking off the job, people filing lawsuits, all kind of shit, right? I'm like, what? Still then, you know how that is. It's like I hear it and I don't. Bro, do you know when I got up there, that man called his cousin and told him I was there and told him I brought the pizza and he FaceTimed him, bro. He FaceTimed him. His cousin said it again. I'm sitting here looking at him just like I'm looking at you. He got the CO uniform on and everything. He worked the night shift. He get off at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I heard him say it. First thing that came out my mouth, I say, that nigga ain't in there.
Remember I was saying, that motherfucker ain't there? It's all it's a big ass show.
Yeah. Allegations
look at this. This Epstein nigga, right? He on the 10th fucking floor, cameras everywhere, and 2 niggas just went to sleep at the same time, and nobody made their rounds with all the other motherfuckers. You can't make this shit up, bro, how corrupt this system is. You know what I mean?
Red, it is designed to see what the people are gonna do. They're poking at people.
They want to see the reaction. They poking at people exactly.
Yeah.
Even with Cat Williams and everybody else, regardless of Cat Williams doing this since he's been saying this shit since 1999. I know personally, but nobody really listens. So he's with Netflix, this, that, and other. And all those are Jew consortiums or Chinese, whatever the fuck they all want to say. And it's not the people, it's the governments. And he's just playing his part, and he's being allowed to say things. But the thing is, because people they want to see how dumbed down people are. Because you gotta remember, they're doing chemicals and everything. So they don't mind this nigga saying it now. They're not going to sit there and take his children again. They ain't going to stop them from having guns in the safe. They're not going to, because they know they lie. The thing is to dissuade people. So they want to see how dumb y'all are, what you going to do, how you going to react. Well, see, 2 years ago, if y'all reacted, you could have shut this whole country down. But you dumb asses didn't want to listen to us. You just wanted to sit there and listen to a bunch of paleskins as if they're the authority on any goddamn thing. How can they be an authority when they don't even know their truth? Bunch of Cabbage Patch children and orphans. See, that's why I put up the little post with Garbage Pail Kids and Cabbage Patch Kids. And people have a hard time dealing with it because that's how I look at them when they can't come around and come over to the other side and say, oh, brother, we made a mistake. But you got pale skin women. That's why I respect them more than anything, just like Muslims, who are sitting up saying, man, we ain't shit. We ain't crazy shit. We ain't make shit. Pale skin women right now are starting to tell the truth. They going in their great grandpappy's goddamn lockers and foot, what you call it, and they're pulling out all this information trunks, and they're saying, holy shit, I got a nigga's foot. in formaldehyde and who is this? And then realizing, and then they're reading letters of these old Ku Klux Klan goofy made by a big Jew, and they're sitting there going, "Holy smack!" And it rubs them the wrong way because their daughter got 2 babies by Machiavelli.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? Not Justin Bieber sucking old L. Beckman's dick, but got a baby by, you know what I'm saying? Max B, original lone wolf, not me, but you know what I'm saying? And this is a reality. So they're sitting there going, something ain't right.
Yeah.
And now they're telling it all over the place. And most Negroes won't hear it because they're still following knuckleheads like Umar, Sarnetta, and all them other fucktards. And they refuse to acquiesce because they believe they're in pain and suffering. So they believe in something they don't know shit. Fuck a belief. They're still holding on to something instead of being a relief for themselves and doing the research of things. That's why we felt it was important for you to come on, because nobody else is going to talk about it. I would love to see ToLU here, right? And the other benefactor of it all is the enemy, because our narrative, we ain't painting. It's already laid out, but everybody's ignoring it because they holding on to the fake Picassos.
Right. Yeah.
And look, see this is what Rondo said? Yeah, Rondo, I'm actually about to, you know what, because I'm waiting on Snoo and a few other people, but I'm about to just say, fuck it. I would love to see Lone Wolf come here, be up in the room. What's going on the range? Nigga, we going down. We're going to the 27 acres. All right, let's get this shit sold. Nigga, we out. And go down that motherfucker, set up a hot tent and start goddamn digging and pickaxe swinging and shoveling up some shit and making things crack, paying $250 for a greenhouse, get shit rolling. And see, all of us, you can get 200 people on 27 acres and build a fucking small city. And I'm talking about the way you want, and nobody can say or stop or do a goddamn thing.
And that's what they are doing. The so-called
and here, brother's waiting. He's looking for everybody. I'm waiting. I'm calling. I'm like, what's going on? And all y'all acting like this shit's going to blow over. That was a test, too. Every time they do something, they blow shit over. They print more dollars. Let me tell you something. They keep talking about we in a recession. The recession been going on since motherfucking 2008.
Well, how you know?
Listen. It's been broke. The country's been broke. Motherfuckers, listen, that's why they're doing the things they're doing, and then they'll let over 7 to 12 million motherfuckers in, and 5 million of those known to be terrorists. Why you think they've been, man, come on, this is deep. So in order for us, we have to actually stand up, but that's the reason why they're watching all this. When I told somebody Facebook was logbook, they told me, what you talking about? I said, Google it. Remember I had that little live I did? I was saying, throwing all kind of information out.
That's when they first started out. That's
yes.
What they
and what I says, y'all think AOL was the beginning of it? Y'all have no clue about history, And MySpace, oh my goodness, it's called MySpace. It don't mean yours. It means that little space like right here where they can say, go back to that, roll that motherfucking pork bean footage.
Right.
What did he say right there? And now they got a system. So Pia that went online in 2015, she's marking all your looks and features. And right now, they can make a motherfucker look like you robbing a bank, shooting 100 motherfuckers, and you be sitting on the toilet taking a deep shit. I'm just saying, y'all.
The deputy director of the FBI came out on the record and said that this is the greatest thing in history. They never in their life thought that people would be so willful to give up information so voluntarily.
Okay. Yeah, it went out a little bit, your voice. Say that again, brother.
The deputy director of the FBI said that about Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. They said it. They laid it out. And look, 1974, congressional hearing with the CIA. Did y'all stop using TVs to look at people? Now everybody got a smart TV and you turn it off and unplug it and the motherfucker look at you still for another 12 hours. You can't make this shit up. They don't even need that no more because the Wi-Fi can remove everything in the home and have your ass walk around looking like Mr. Green Man. Know everything you doing, how many times you wipe your ass. I'm talking about from over another country and everything else. This is real. This is reality.
What the white man and police tell you? Didn't he tell you every step you take, I'll be watching you?
Your voice, man, sound like we in a goddamn sump.
How about that?
No, I think it's them, man. They might be. acting a little funny. Sophia acting up. Sophia, don't worry. I'll smack the computer. I'm smacking your metaverse ass. You all right, baby? No, talk, brother. It sounds like you in water, bro. Hold on. It's not me. It's your mic. It's your mic, bro. No, it sounds. We hear you, but it sounds like you in a big open space, but in water.
Oh, okay. Well, the white man, the police told you every step you take, I'll be watching you. What you think they was talking about? You remember that song? Well, can't you see you belong to me? You go that shit. They told me every step you take, I'll be
It's still doing it, man. What the hell, man?
What?
And Mr. C, what's going on, beloved? Peace to the God. You already know. The microphone sounds like he's underwater. I know. He sounds like he's working for NASA in a fake ass spacewalk.
Hold on.
Now you sound normal. Okay. Yeah. We got some intelligent people. Where'd you go, nigga? Oh, anyway. Oh, he's gonna come back in. But anyway, yeah, man, we got some highly intellectual, intelligent fucking people. You see what I'm saying? And people at Devin Moore, what's going on, beloved? People have a hard time dealing with this because we want to feed our appetite with the regular come around. No, there are people like myself, Kiramil, Lone Wolf. There's a plethora of individuals. You dig what I'm saying? And that's the reality. I got you, beloved. I got you. And we need to get more people, involved because there are other voices that really need to, not gimmicky, that need to be heard. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can donate those in my Cashapp so we can get them damn books a month. Thank you again, Devin. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. We get there.
One of the things that people need to understand about why celebrities are used so much is because we live in a world where you're judged based off material statuses, money, cars, clothes, who you know, who you hang out with. So because that's what people chase, that's why we get so many rags to riches stories. You know what I'm saying? And you have to understand that, like what the brother just told you, they allow Cat Williams to say what he said. Just go back and watch my video about Cat Williams. I kind of broke it down for you. I told y'all the nigga not lying. I'm not there to shoot Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? We know what he said.
But all that attention shouldn't be given to him. I agree.
And then not only that, my thing is this: it's not if you want to bring attention into it, why give attention to something you already know? You see what I'm saying? Why did he deserve that type of attention based off pretenses of things that's coming out of his mouth that we already know? And it's designed that way so you mute people like me. You silence people like Red. And then not only that, we do it to each other. We literally silence Red by not listening to him and going to Shannon Sharp because Shannon Sharp got money. He got all these different things. But yet you see pictures of him wearing purses and shit walking through the airport. He walking around with some tight ass fucking pants on with a purse. Y'all ain't seen them videos? Y'all ain't seen that nigga coming through airports and shit with purses? Shannon Sharp is like 6'7", about 240 pounds. That's a big ass dude to be walking around with a fucking purse. Y'all ain't never seen what's the other brother with? He had the thigh high boots on.
Fucking fact.
The brother that the Michael Strahan. Y'all ain't never seen motherfucking Michael Strahan with them long ass crushed velvet red go-go boots on and shit, covered half his thighs. And this nigga like 6'5".
Fucking fact. Fucking fact. Fucking fact.
What the hell is that?
Fucking fact. Fucking fact. Fucking fact. Fucking fact.
Well, your ass a trip. Hell no.
Fucking fact, goddamn.
And see, that's a problem because when you start listening to other people and they'll tell you things like, well, I learned everything about black people on TV shows and movies. This is why that's a problem, because they feel like we all like that.
And see, that's the bigger thing. Like this new Whoopi Goldberg shit coming out. If any of y'all go see that, god damn you.
Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, you talking about that Color Purple shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Oprah, or that bitch. Well, anyway, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me for saying that, ladies, but that's what the fuck she is a scavenging little worthless ass.
Yeah. She a
trolling
witch.
bitch. Yeah,
She a
she's
witch.
a what? I don't even want to say that because that's disrespecting the craft. She's a sick motherfucking monkey. She need a motorcycle protecting the goddamn wizard.
Yeah. Because actually, our women who were healers, they crafted that name too, and it became derogatory.
Look at this here now. This is what I'm talking about. This is all you got to say. These boots were made for walking. This I tell you so. These boots were made for walking. I'm gonna walk all over you.
So not your daughter and shit.
Oh, okay. Let me stop. I'm showing my age. Oh shit.
And then it became so perverted that you have women that are accepting this now. You got women putting on strap-ons now for these guys.
Right.
You know, that's how bad
that's
it's
a fact. I told you I've been around some of the parties and it smelled like straight up numbered ass. I'm like, the fuck is going on here? Yo, you got that backpack off? Yeah, I got that. What the fuck? Can I get some nose gloves? And I was a boxer. I was like, y'all got smelling sauce? And he's like, yeah, just go down this hall to the nigga. Could y'all meet me out at the door? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Big bald head potato on the sack with motherfucking craters talking about security. Yeah, I wonder who you running up in, nigga. I'm just saying, man. This is Nancy Sinatra. That's right, baby girl. That's right. And it's a sad state of affairs. And we don't have to parlay with that shit.
Right.
We don't have to give it energy. Fuck them. They made that bed. So what? We need women to be the powerful feminine. We need men to be the powerful masculine. No alphas, no sigmas, because we are not in competition and all we in battle. That battle is a made-up script, and if anybody's partaking in it, you better fix yourself and stay the fuck away from me.
And then how do you not recognize your power when they needed to get us on board, which we were the last group, and then everything went all downhill?
Exactly.
How do you not recognize the power in that? How do you not understand they needed to get rid of Big Mama?
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. The shit is counting down.
You know, they had to get rid of Big Mama. They had to get rid of all of the strong brothers that was in the community before they could bring this shit in. And then when we finally latched on to it, we do like we do everything else. We take the shit to the extreme.
Yep, and they locked up.
We treated homosexuals,
hundreds of thousands of innocent brothers and sisters, and broke them.
Yeah. We sit up there. We take everything to the extreme. People ran with homosexuality like it was new,
and that's recent.
Right.
Went right out the pocket. We had people in the so-called indigenous community talking about, yeah, we two-spirited. I unfollowed their ass real quick, and then when the messenger, you stupid motherfucker, don't you ever follow me again.
Two-spirited? What the fuck is that?
But you know, that's some foreign, that ain't no real shit, bro. That's some foreign, stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know, motherfuckers, what they worldly, they fleshly desires. We're spiritual. We are immortal, and they found a way to get rid of the physical. Yet we can fight it. But motherfuckers don't want to do that because we have a lot of women who have a hard time listening to men for that comfort, truth and comfort. We have a lot of men who don't know how to adhere to the woman's the necessary needs, not this physical world, as you stated a little while ago, of monetary clothes and all that bullshit.
Man.
I see a woman weaving her hair and BBL. I'm looking like you. Ooh, you just don't know. You look like they could have put you in one of them chocolate Easter egg molds and put your ass out there talking about Easter egg hunt. We find chocolate bunny. And yeah, no, man. No. That's when I tossed right on it. Yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
Well, when you start to look at these celebrities and how they started out and the way they look now, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, that's a BBL in the face that failed.
Yeah.
When you look at how Meg Ryan ended up, opposed to how somebody like Meg Ryan started out.
You seen that lately? God damn.
That's right. That's my point. That's the point. Yeah, you look at this person now and you're like, what the hell is this? This ain't fucking City of Angels, Meg Ryan. What the hell is this?
What the fuck happened? You know what? Remember I told you about the synthetic androgen? These motherfuckers all utilizing that and they want the real shit. That's another drug. Don't ever buy that shit. You can buy that, don't. That is a whole nother world. Okay? For any of y'all that remember that movie that came out, and let's just give you a little satire. That movie where the motherfuckers was doing that drink, and they would see angels of like death coming, and they were committing suicide, and that bald-headed motherfucker, this Puerto Rican guy, was killing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People need to have this understanding, and even Dread, the newer Dread with the female, and they had to go up high in the project.
Yeah.
All right, and it was called Slow Mo.
Yeah, that was my shit. I fuck with the Mama Clan. And you know that was the chick that played Leonidas' wife, right? You know that, right? Mama.
Nigga, I'm on Slow Mo. Calm down. Nigga go to eat a slice of steak and be starving by the time he get it to his mouth. Nigga, I'm backhanding you. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's my joint. I rock with that. But what that remind me of, bro, the movie that remind me of most that you talking about is I Come in Peace.
I Come in Peace, exactly.
With Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, I'm thinking about watching that shit tonight, cuz I think on Tubi, if I remember.
Yeah, that's what that remind me of. When remember dude was taking the thing and he was sticking them in the forehead and was extracting some sort of liquid. They called it endorphins.
Right.
Or something like that. That's the first thing because this ain't the first time you done brought that up. You brought that up in lives before. And every time you bring that up, that'd be the first movie I think about.
Yeah, yep. Rondo Slipper, Cypers, Blood Sippers, they're Sippers. Randall, the Sippers is what I meant to put her up on there. But yes, Tara Payne, our beloved Hawaiian sister, I didn't know they had fake androcorn. Yes, they do. They've had it for decades. And it's actually been given to a lot of people. It's synthetic. Let me see if I can pull it up. I actually have pictures of it. Let me see if I can pull it up. This is real. And I might next time, bring it where I can actually pull. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to start doing some screen shares, Red, because you be having a lot of shit, bro.
Well, because I don't get in all that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show y'all images. Oh shit, they don't have this. They don't have it on here, yo. Oh, androcorn. Hold on. Here we go. Here it goes. Yes, and this is real. This is real, especially overseas. Now, some of y'all saw I made a post going back last year. That's one. Okay. This is another one.
Okay.
This is stuff this is worse than anything you could think. But let me tell you something. This right here is what Hollywood and all these motherfuckers are utilizing. And this is based upon the adrenal fluid in the fluid in the pineal gland. So now the synthetic form is the man-made compared to the human, which also comes from cadavers. But also the live ones and trauma gives more energy, and it's beyond. It's like doing DMT toad. You dig what I'm saying? And it's actually beyond that, because you don't physically feel like you died. It makes you some weird shit, from what I heard.
So it's like a drug, basically, or they've turned it into
they turned it into a synthetic drug because you be killing half society. There's a lot of motherfuckers taking this stuff.
Damn.
They call it the gold juice. Exactly. And they love to get it from babies.
I heard that. They like scare the shit out of them or something, and then I heard something about that.
Them, they chop them up, they do, and then the older ones who are with them, they take them on the ground and they shoot them, they get rid of them. After birth too, yes. But the thing is, do not take that shit.
Damn.
I'm about to eat some of this goddamn steak and beans, y'all. It's the last of my beef, y'all. I did good yesterday, ain't eat nothing. Day before I ain't eat nothing. I'm about to fuck this shit up though. Well, I gave half to my neighbor, right? And so I got like about 4 or 5 slivers. I'm gonna hit it with garlic, chopped garlic, like minced meat, chopping the garlic up, put it right on it with some cayenne, and just shrimp and my beans with baby girl's mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? Like shiitake, oyster, and with the right sauces.
Yeah.
I'm a chef. What the fuck do you expect?
Right.
Most women go, yeah, that nigga, man, he can cook. Yeah, I do everything. When you gonna throw it back at me? No. I'm not about all that. I'm about making babies. Powerful babies. Okay. This they actually have, I think, in England, Sweden, Denmark. These are places where you can actually go and easily get this stuff. Okay. And what's that place where they do, like, where CERN first was built at? Wasn't that Denmark or Sweden? The first
I'm not
CERN?
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's 7 of them now. Those people were doing Wicca dances with the heads and all that stuff, like the skulls, like the rams and all that, like real, like satanic, like shit. They were on that stuff. When the first CERN was built, they had the people out there dancing when they first dug in, because you know they got those big diggers. They could dig 40 feet wide, 7 miles deep a day. They were out there dancing and getting naked with their suits over there. And they had a commercial they had them take down real quick. And they had a commercial after talking about the Andrew Cohen, whatever they call that shit.
Damn.
People don't know about this stuff, man. And now they have motherfuckers come over here. I think P. Diddy's done it quite often. Because, you know, he like to get all hot up laying around men's and shit. Sick ass. And grooming young boys, Quincy Jones. I don't even know how people still paying attention to that motherfucking gatekeeper bullshit. Excuse my language. Hey, Evelyn Smiley, American Nietzsche. What's going on, beloved? How you doing, hon? What was that? Let me see if we can get you on there. Grand Elevate. Yeah, Grand Ascension. You already know. Yep, they did a ceremony. So you know what I'm talking about, Aaron, baby girl. All right, Santa, we got Santa rolling like a motherfucker.
Damn, man, that's crazy.
Hey, that's what's up. I love it. What was that? It's good to see you, American Nietzsche. What was that? Yes, the video is still up. You can watch it. Oh, it is ceremony? Oh, yeah, I got to hook it up because I got the little mixed board and all that to do. And so I got to get it all hooked up so that way I can go and be like, all right, check it out, y'all. Hold on. Watch this. Yeah, I watch y'all, so I got to kind of down how to act when we put it up. But man, yeah, so I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna download it. Hopefully it's downloadable. You know what I'm saying? You saw it, Tara? Yeah, it's weird. Of course, it's weird.
Is it on YouTube?
Iron Baby Go. So is it on YouTube? Hun, is it on YouTube, sis? Yo, she got me 1.8 for the Ring of Cedars. Oh my God, I can't wait to get it. I'm gonna start reading that motherfucker. I don't care what anybody doing. I'm gonna make it a weekend ring. Oh yeah. Oh, y'all gonna. It's gonna hit y'all upside the head. Beautiful, magnifical. Absolutely. Yes, she said yes. Yeah. Okay, y'all. She's saying it's on YouTube. All right,
it's on YouTube.
Definitely. It's called the CERN ceremony. Type this shit in now.
Yeah, where my pen at?
I thought they took that off. Shit.
Damn, that's why I got. I got to stay.
Oh, it's right there. Serve Science Gateway highlights of this. Hold on. Gathered Base Tunnel opening ceremony. Oh, Birmingham 22 opening ceremony. Is that? But that's with the 7 CERNs. Mock human sacrifice at CERN. Holy shit. What the smack? They got all kind of stuff. Maybe I shouldn't even tapped into this. I might be giving energy. Oh, Bizarre Ceremonies 2016. That is the time I am talking about. That's the one I remember. World's longest and deepest rail hunt. And they were dancing all over the place, looking like goddamn, what's that little nigga with dancing with the devil? Getting the blood sneaker Nikes and shit. Oh, I'm watching all that. Nas X. Yeah, that's how the motherfuckers look dancing around all retarded. And I was like, these people really acting this out, man. God damn, they got a lot of people grafted in.
Well, that shit can be behind a lot of stuff, man. Now that I'm listening to you talk about it, that could be responsible for a lot of shit that's going on, man. If it's like that. Gothard Tunnel.
That was the one. The other one with the dancing when they were showing. Some of those big diggers, they got them all over the place. All these countries are connected underground, under the ocean and everything.
I swear to God.
Listen, they have an under ocean city.
If I personally believe that's what King Kong versus Godzilla was trying to show you.
Remember when Godzilla went to that motherfucking place and they had to restart that motherfucking heart? and he was in that Kotepe, like pyramids and all that. Because I keep telling people, this earth right here is on top of many other, even gigantic cities. Like it is. And the earth is infinite. Just as it is expanse, it's infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And here they got us in talking about American experiment. That's something different. Because they wanted to see what we were capable of after we went to sleep, after all these wars, setting everything up. I told people we ain't not from here, but people having a hard time buying it because they want to accept out of the dirt bullshit. How can we come out the dirt and we had great cities? People starting to realize that great existence, wheel vehicles. When I see people running around these little motorized scooters, they had that in the 1700s. You ain't showing nothing different. We built the first 2 engines, and yet Ford, here come these fake Jews taking our shit because we ain't together, and yet y'all still want to stay separated. Stay separated. They hung almost as many pale skins as Spanish and French men with us, right? As far as the lynching, and I'm a historian. I've got the facts. I'm so tired of this divisiveness, and that's why I say we got to step away from these mother suckers, and we got to get strapped up with ourselves. That means we have to elevate. We have to ascend. We have to remove the normal and become the paranormal to which we are. We have to step into our truthful existence and stop parlaying and negating the negativity that has circumvented us for a very short time, but too goddamn long. Y'all, look, it's been great, y'all. It's 2 hours. I'm hungry. The motherfucker is getting late. And y'all know I go to bed early. Don't fuck with me. And we had our wonderful brother, Originalloaneolf. You want to get any last comments, beloved?
Yeah, I'm gonna end this by saying this. I appreciate y'all for giving me the ability to speak. Thanks for bringing me on.
Subscribe.
It's time for a new dynamic, and that's going to involve, you know, things that we ain't used to study, people we may not have used to listen to, and it also means getting rid of certain people and dismissing a lot of information that we used to hold near and dear to our heart. There's no such thing as qualified immunity, people.
Nope.
Everybody can be held accountable for what they do.
Got that right.
And I'm also end it by saying, as far as with the qualified immunity, you wouldn't be required to get an indemnity bond if you were so immune. An indemnity bond is just insurance. It's like car insurance. You hurt somebody, whether their life is ended or not, it was deemed to be your fault, you got to pay. And the indemnity bond is the same way. Every politician got one. Every judge, every lawyer, every prosecutor, every cop, every sheriff, every FBI motherfucker, they all got them. So always remember that, man. Start looking inside yourself. If you want to know how I got where I am within these last 6.5, 7 years, you have to understand that, like what Red tell you, you have to chew up the meat and spit out the bone. And the way that you do that is by researching everybody's information. That's how you know who's who.
Puzzle pieces.
That's how you know who's who. All right. So I'm gonna end it by saying I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. And I really respect the fact that y'all are sitting down willing to listen to me. Aboriginalloneolf #1@gmail.com is how you all can get in contact with me. Whatever information you're looking for, if I got it, I'll give it to you. If it's something that may be too big of a file to download, because we will run into that problem, I'll have to show you where you can get it from, and that way you can download it yourself. With emails, they only allow you to transfer so many megabytes in a file. It's kind of like when you send text messages, similar to that. So if it's a situation where I may have something, but it's too big of a file, I'll tell you where to go to get it, or we'll make other arrangements. Hell, I mail shit through the post office for free. But you didn't hear that from me, though.
Yeah. He can break it down and teach you how to mail shit for free. And now the post office the first few times is going to give you a hard time, but that don't mean a fucking thing, because you can. Everything is paid for, and we don't listen. I'm serious. But
you know what, though, Red? Everybody that did it, like, they didn't start having problems until after they did it. You know what I'm saying? Because Rondo didn't did the shit. You know what I'm saying? ToLU Cherokee sent me some shit in Chicago, some tea.
Me too. Me too. A couple of times. Yeah, no stamp, no nothing. Yeah.
It wasn't until after they realized you knew what you was doing. Then that's when they start fucking with Tolu Cherokee. Then that's when they started fucking with Janet. But when they first started doing it, they all went through.
But that fucking was because it's coming from the top and it's wrong. They can't stop shit.
Yeah. That's how you know it's fraud. If you got to change something just because so many people have caught on, that means you was never no good to begin with.
That's like the DMV. Y'all keep them motherfuckers up and running. The government don't pay for them motherfuckers. The police departments, they're not the pirates. That's how they keep getting pay raises in certain places. And
then not only that,
to allow it.
They the ones that's supposed to pay taxes.
Exactly. 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 Yo, man, it's a good one, beloved. Yo, it's a good one, man. I appreciate you coming in, dropping the knowledge. People, you got his email. It's a couple of times in there. If you hit me up again, I'm gonna give it to you. I've got it myself. Much more information. He probably could sit here for 8-9 hours and really, if you really want, slowly and write everything down. But the thing is, you have to be able to contact with him and others like him to be able to put the stuff in work, because the first time you don't want to get discouraged, because the system, just like going to get Social Security, is designed to discourage you. Okay, you dig what I'm saying? So it's none but Max V. What's up, beloved? It's none but with the grace of each individual, the gods we all, and I don't mean that lightly, right? That we're able to do this on their platforms and in a responsible, respectful way. All right, as adults, as man and woman. Well, we don't know about all that thesauruses of ABCs to V's, whatever the fuck. Yeah. So it's nothing but respect, and I appreciate you coming in, OG. You know what I'm saying? Mad respect. We got to hit Jay Davis up in chat, man. Give him that information about CPS and everything. And I've been reaching out, attempting to find pro bono attorneys, and it's funny how they keep keeping them from working in certain parts of the states, like some crazy shit. Unless they're really big, you know what I'm saying? So it's a challenge, man. But if we were all together, it'd be different. They would be like, go get that kid and give them back to their parent. You know what I'm saying?
One of the things you want to do is if you're dealing with, or you may feel like you may have some sort of crap coming up involving your children in CPS, you want to do this now because it's going to take time. Get your child's birth certificate authenticated on the state and federal level. Pick a country that's not a part of the Hague. You could pick Taiwan, pick whatever one you want that's not a part of the Hague.
Listen.
When you get it authenticated on the federal level and they give it back to you, you have to draw up an affidavit according to Minnesota Rule 220, letting them know in that affidavit that you acknowledge yourself as being one of the owner's names that's in that birth certificate, and the information in there is correct, and that you have reached the age of maturity. Or in a situation like with your children, you will let them know that you are the owner of said document. And you put that in the affidavit, and that goes with the authenticated birth certificate of your child. And those are one of the things that I wish like hell I would have knew back then. And it helps protect them.
Another thing, they made it damn near impossible for you to get that certificate of life, which is illegal too. They're supposed to give that to you off the back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They don't never give you that.
Now, if you have no,
that shit in the ground, bro, where you were talking about under the Vatican and shit.
Yeah.
That's what that.
Listen. Yeah. Listen to this, and then this is the crazy part, right? If you want to actually get it, you got to turn over that Social Security card, that death certificate they call it, like birth certificate. That's a death certificate. Your drivers, you got to take all that, and you got to send it to, like, was it 6 or 7 different organizations? You got to send the main one to, I guess DC, right? Or what is it? Is it Maryland or is it Virginia?
Well, as far as what?
Returning all that shit that was given to your parents.
You return it back. And everything else. You resend it to the appropriate people.
It's y'all can Google it and pull it up, because I think it's to, like, vital statistics, the DMV, which is based upon the state. You
have to notify the governor, the president. Yeah.
Right. The medical, God dang, I used to have it. I have it upstairs in that damn folder. You can send all that shit back, and there ain't a goddamn thing they can say. But the only thing you're gonna need to do is you got to get a passport. You got to get a passport. have, because they still gonna have to be able to say, oh, this dead man over here is so and so, and the family. You know what I'm saying? And it's I forget it's what kind of passport is it? It's what kind of passport is that? Shit. It's a naturalization type passport. It's showing that
I've heard.
you are a citizen of you're American. You're a United States American citizen. Nothing to do with the United States.
Right.
I forget what it is, but there's a passport. Y'all can look into it, but you have to return all that shit.
From my understanding, Red, you're supposed to create your own everything, right down to your ID.
Yes, even out to a license plate, not a license plate, but you have to inform them. You know, travel. You know what I'm saying? And those laws are not applicable. You don't have to be some motherfucking foreign, what you call it, you know, who's an untouchable. That's some bullshit. That's the whole thing. So that way they can have the Hague and you know, all that the Hague, where they can do this secret shit that is illegal. While we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now from these fake, whatever you want to call them, Vanderbilt, Rothschilds, all the motherfuckers. Whether there's 9 or 13 families, I don't give a fuck, but they all work together. They conspire together, and we have been under that bullshit for just a very short time. It ain't been long, yo. That's why they ramping shit up. All right, well, I appreciate you coming in, brother. We got to do this again, man, because I know you got plethora more of information. And it's up to the individuals. If you all enjoyed this, appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, hit me in the messenger. Go to my brother's channel. Hit him in there. Hit his Gmail, okay? And put it up one more time for those who might have been chilling, having a sippy sip, and a little tweety tweet. Yeah, so go ahead and make sure you say that, which is nothing wrong with all that. And we're going to do this again. And I'll be on early in the morning to get the read on. So please, I know the notifications are a little obscured. I'll start it. I'll give 10 or 15 minutes so everybody can come in. And I appreciate y'all. Today was the first day. Tomorrow's just another day. I don't care what you got to do. Do not let it overburden you. Don't let it weigh you down. Stand on your ground. Be on your 10 toes. Have your 515s rolling. And nobody can afflict anything or put nothing upon you that is not required. Okay? Number love. My beloved sisters and my brothers. 2 and a 1. Originalloaneolf, you go ahead and sign off, brother.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all later. Much love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You hit him. Good. Y'all got his Gmail. Y'all write it down. You get that information. Again, I respect and appreciate and love every one of you. We're going to do this again. I know there was a period of time when I was doing this like crazy, but I want to make sure that logistically it's something that can benefit everybody. And this is nothing against nobody of any color. This applies to everybody. Okay? Because I'm tired of ethnicities, races, crayon colors. I'm tired of it all. Now I have my likes. Damn it. And that's the way that is. But to each their own on that cover. All right, again, I appreciate you. And it's nothing but respect and love. I'm tired, y'all. I guess the old fogey in me, I ain't old. Y'all have a wonderful evening. And have a blessed day tomorrow.